Leader of Government Business.
Mr. Speaker, I ask leave of Parliament to move a motion without notice.
Is leave granted? Aye. Leave granted. Leader of Government Business.
Mr. Speaker, I move that so much of the standing orders be suspended as would prevent Minister for State Enterprise presenting the Essential Services Amendment Bill 2024.
The question is that the motion be agreed to. Those in favor say aye. Aye. Those against say no. The ayes have it. Mr. Minister. Mr. Clerk.
Essential Services Amendment Bill 2024.
Minister for State Enterprise.
Mr. Speaker, I present the Essential Services Amendment Bill 2024.
Mr. Clerk.
First reading, a bill for an act to amend the Essential Services Act 2002 and for related purposes.
Mr. Minister.
Mr. Speaker, I ask leave of the Parliament to move the second reading forthwith.
Is leave granted? Leave granted. Mr. Minister.
Mr. Speaker, I move that the bill now be read a second time.
Make your speech.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker and honourable members of this Parliament, it gives me great pleasure to introduce to you the proposed Essential Service Amendment Bill 2023 to amend the provisions of the Essential Services Act 2002. Mr. Speaker, the amendments that are proposed under this bill are intended to deter non-compliance with the emergency directions issued under the Principal Act by increasing the penalty threshold under Section 9 of the Act to 500,000 kina for non-compliant individuals and 5 million kina for non-compliant companies. Mr. Speaker, in our efforts to ensure the continuity and security of fuel supply in our country, the Marape Rosu government has identified the Essential Services Act 2002 as the most appropriate legal avenue to employ to help manage our fuel crisis. Accordingly, Mr. Speaker, the head of state, acting on the advice of Cabinet, had proclaimed an emergency pursuant to Section 3 of the Essential Services Act 2002, thereby enabling the Minister to, amongst other things, if necessary, exercise powers under Section 4 to requisition property, enabling the continuity and security of fuel supply in our country. Mr. Speaker, however, in exercising those powers under the Essential Services Act, it has come to the attention of the government, the Marape Rosu government, that adherence to the directions by the Minister under Section 4 of the Act is not at a level to be appreciated given the circumstances. Accordingly, the need for an increase of the penalties under Section 9 of the Act for non-compliance by both individuals and companies. In summary, Mr. Speaker, if this bill is passed, it will effectively encourage strict compliance with emergency directions as well as prohibitions and requisitions under the Essential Services Act 2002. Mr. Speaker and honourable members, pursuant to Section 109 of the Constitution, this Parliament has the general power to enact laws. I therefore seek your support to ensure that the Essential Services Amendment Bill 2024 is passed in compliance with the requirements under the Constitution. Mr. Speaker, these amendments are needed to ensure the effective administration of emergencies under the Essential Services Act, which provide for services such as water, power, air services, and fuel supplies. With that, Mr. Speaker, I commend the Essential Services Amendment Bill 2024 to this Honourable House in accordance with the standing orders and open the debate. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Honorable Governor of Morobe.
Mr. Speaker, thank you for giving me the leave to debate on this bill being presented. And I thank the Minister for Private Enterprise to present the bill and recommends the proposed amendment to this Parliament. Mr. Speaker, we're not living in a primitive environment or primitive society as we lived before. This country has become civilized. Western civilization has come to our country, and by virtue of those influences into our society, Mr. Speaker.
Honorable Governor, you may got point of order. Honorable Governor of Long Northern Province, when I'm point of order, blue.
I would, with due respect to our good governor from Morobe, I'd like him to retract that word primitive about our ancestors. This is an insult to our people. Our people were great people, and they were civilized in their own way, and they were educated in their own way. So let's not refer to them as primitives. If it were not for them, we would not be here today. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Honorable Governor of Morobe, illegal Samuel, Member of Parliament, Samlain Hamas, have talking be primitive. Na maybe lo context flu like with them, but long language of Parliament, I think stretch, so you rouse him back this laptop, na tanim good can.
Yes, Mr. Speaker, yeah, but me withdraw him, na me withdraw him. So you will have talk, also na me talk. So thinking this is the point. All right, so me rouse him. But next time more, you can talk. Next time more. Because people say talk, me talk. Because some member of Parliament is making talk also, you make a reach you.
Honorable Governor, you talk, I'm not sure.
Enter so, Mr. Speaker. So you may remind me, yet, Mr. Speaker.
Honorable Governor, you wait holding past them. Me will have two time now, one mobile phone will ring, standing on W allowance, so you said member of Parliament, mobile phone you on, you put him on silent or off him. Also, stop the gallery, or attendant, you will attend long. Thank you. Honorable Governor, you may continue.
Yes, Mr. Speaker, we are not living as our forefathers have lived. I appreciate the comments by the Governor for Oro that we had our own civilization. And that civilizations were good civilization. And we didn't encounter any problems like the other civilizations have come into our country. Other civilizations that come into our country as destroyed our civilization. We created harmony and respect for ourselves and for the nature. Very good civilization it was. But when we allowed the civilization of other people into our country, we're facing problems. And by that civilization, Mr. Speaker, we've allowed them to bring now, we don't have to rely on bombs and all of those, but we now have to rely on the power, the electricity power developed in the Western civilization. They brought it into our country. We now have to make sure that the water, not that we go to the creek and get the water, but the water from for instance, the Silinamu Dam, and the water to provide the generation of power and provide the water for drinking in the city. That is the water, the style and the form in which that water comes to our consumption by the influence of Western civilization. Then we need a road, not the tracks that we will walk, but the roads that now a car has to use, have to travel to and fro. Those roads that we need them now. And we brought in, by virtue of the civilization, new civilization, we now have to fly from one destination to another destination. We got a big airports there to land, to load the passengers and the cargo to the other destinations. The airport. And equally so for the sea transport. And all of those things require fuel, Mr. Speaker. All of those things require fuel. Now we're using fossil fuel. And as we know, we're trying to make sure that we must bring in, we must make sure we develop biofuel in our country, Mr. Speaker. We're not actively involved in there. There's plenty of talks going out, but we are stuck. That advancement has not taken place, and we've not been in the utility of the bioenergy in this country. Therefore, we continue to use the fossil energy, or energy produced from the fossil substance, Mr. Speaker. So we need fuel, we need water, and other services we need. Those are categorized as basic services, as I understand it from the Minister for Private Enterprise. But when the Act was passed in 2002, that did not provide, or if it did, the penalty not sufficient enough to deter the people who provided those basic services. That's not enough. So it is the great intention, and there's plenty of wisdom in there, to amend the law, to introduce the bill so that we can amend the law. The Parliament has the power standing to amend the law, Mr. Speaker, so that we have tougher penalties, so that in the event that an individual trying to make this country suffer by preventing the supply of fuel, for instance, the type of fuel the planes use are not the type of fuel the tractors use, the type of fuel the small cars that you drive use, but the fuel provided for the utility of the aircraft are a different type of fuel in a different specification. And those who provide the fuel are specialized to provide those kind of fuel. And not anybody can supply this kind of a fuel. Nobody. People who are authorized by law to provide those kind of fuel to the utility of planes, to the utility of ships, utility of other vehicles that are operating in the country of Papua New Guinea. And people have to travel, Mr. Speaker, from one destination to another by different transport, by air transport, by a sea transport, and by a land transport. They need fuel. And different category of fuels, scientifically known. You can't mix it up. And in the event that the plane, for instance, FEMA, is not here to defend itself, but I name it because it's a general knowledge, Mr. Speaker, that fails to provide the fuel to the plane, the flights will be cancelled. You want to go to Mountain Hagen, but you can't travel because there's not the specified fuel for the aircraft to travel. Or you want to get to Nasab, you want to get to Vanimo, you want to get to Momote, you want to get to Rabaul, but you cannot travel because, Mr. Speaker, the specified fuel is not there for the utility of the aircraft to use that vehicle. But those people get away, Mr. Speaker, because the sufficient penalty is not there. So they get away. So the wisdom of the minister and wisdom of the government must be committed. It must be committed because bringing this bill so that we have a stiffer penalty. They recommend here 500 kina, or 500,000, not 500 kina, 500,000 kina for individual. Say like your manager or a transport operator or petrol manager, working Robin and making stop you stop in field. If they say that, the plane is not going to move to carry you members to go and form the government or whatever you want to do. Right? It happened before, I can tell you. It happened before. I'm 20 years member now. I can tell you it happened before. All right? If they're against you, they're going to make sure they stop they don't provide the vehicles to the fuel to the aircraft, the relevant aircraft to take you from to and fro. That is why we now have to make sure that that individual, whoever that may be, that individual trying to prevent the supply of the relevant fuel in accordance with the specification, that person must be apprehended and charged. His place is Boroko cell, Mr. Speaker. It should go to Boroko cell, and it will pay a fine of 500 kina. And for the company, 500,000. Sorry, 500,000.
And 5 million.
500,000. And in relation to a corporation or company, by their decision, prevents, Mr.
Honorable
Speaker.
Governor, Honorable Governor Morbe, you may get a point of order again. Honorable Governor Blong, is speak with a point of order, you.
Just a point of correction. This particular bill is not targeted towards Puma. And the good governor is inferring that you may targeting Puma one and this bill. So if you could just stick to a general debate and not continue to mention a particular company. Because otherwise this will be an anti-Puma bill, because that's the way it's sounding.
Yeah.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Honorable Governor, you may continue your debate.
Yeah, thank you, Mr. Speaker. I'm using Puma as an example, Governor. You are him good. You know who are him good here. I think some of the Bellard will pass him here. Mr. Speaker. So either Puma or any other company who wants to, who fails to provide the fuel we need, they need to be penalized. The penalty, Mr. Honorable Speaker, 5 million. That is, in my humble view, the appropriate penalty. And secondly, the provisions of water. Water, these are categorized as a basic services. If anybody up there who prevents the supply of water to the city of Port Moresby or to the city of Lae, individual person, that individual person should be apprehended and arrested and found guilty. He must face 500,000, not 5,000 kina, no, 500,000. He must face it. And if the other companies which provide water and they try to prevent the supply of water, and when we specifically need it or when we need it, they should face the law. They should stand to face the law, and the penalty is 5 million. 5 million. And I'm very confident that in the event that those kind of things happens, then, and if the enforcing institution take action and deal with them, I'm sure the other people who are thinking of making also to indulge in the actions of stopping the services of the basic services to our country, to our people, they will fear, Mr. Speaker, they will fear because they're going to face the top penalty. And Mr. Minister, I'm so very thankful that you bring this bill in all around the country. And also, Mr. Speaker, I want to talk about power too. Power. We have to make sure power, if people must provide power. If now power is the day-to-day event for all of the big cities in Papua New Guinea and all of the small cities in Papua New Guinea, in all of the district stations in Papua New Guinea, and the people who are supposed to provide power, they lack the sufficient production and provisions of power to generate the power in those districts, in those towns, in those cities, and we are suffering. And Mr. Speaker, I hope that this particular bill also will apply to those people who provide power to our country. And in the event they fail, and they will stand to face the force of the law. They will stand to face the force of the law, and the penalty they provided, and penalty being introduced by the Honourable Minister when this Parliament gives a note, when this Parliament approves the bill and it gets passed, they will face the penalty. And I think that's a good thing to do. And all the other basic services, categorized as the basic services, defined, Mr. Speaker, defined as a basic services under the 2002 bill, 2002 law, the principal law, and also extend the definition to the amendment. They should face the consequences for failure of providing those basic services. And particularly when we are in the difficult time, Mr. Speaker, when you are in the difficult times, very difficult times, no, we are made to suffer. We're made to suffer. You see, I was supposed to take example, a very important trip to bring the provincial budget of this year. The provincial Tutamang, the Assembly, has approved the budget. I was supposed to take the representative of the Tutamang by Air New Guinea to Port Moresby to get the Minister for Finance to sign in accordance with the organic law on provincial and local level government. But there's no field. The company which the governor for governor for CIPIC is disputing, that company made sure that there was no provisional field, and the Air New Guinea didn't take me here. Then I have to spend 27,000 kina to hire a helicopter to take me all the way from Lae to Port Moresby and to the Minister.
Honorable Governor, we have another point of order. What's your point of order, Honorable Governor? You speak.
Mr. Speaker, when we pass laws, they are supposed to be neutral and not targeting or supporting anyone. I'm just worried that since the public is listening in, this is sounding too much like an anti-particular. And I know this law is not intended as such. And in fact, we endorse it. However, I'd like the debate to be in such a manner that we are not mentioning names, because it gives a bad reflection on the Parliament, Mr. Speaker, on all of us.
Thank you, Honorable Governor. And Honorable Governor, me by Togolsam, you got opportunity to debate in this bill too. If you want to debate, I will give you an opportunity to debate on this bill. But I would allow the Honorable Governor from Morobe to continue his debate on this discussion on this bill.
Yeah, thank you. Minister, the Governor in point me example. Example. I think this is the point. Now, if true again man was informants I give him feel. If true again man. Think you know this is the point. Also, sat him down or no? True again man. True. So, think this is the point. No one put in point of order, nothing. Check him standing order. Mr. Speaker, so, Mr. With due respect, Mr. Speaker, I'm very happy that this bill has eventually been brought. And I think we should support this bill, and we should take a stand as a government, and the people out there will respect us, because the buck stops here, Mr. Speaker. The buck stops here. When the people have problem, they will criticize us, they will support us, and they will criticize us. Some of those criticisms, we don't get compensation from that. They'll criticize and talk nothing, talk. But we have the prerogative. We got the standing to deal with this matter. Nobody's got the power, only you, Middleton. Doesn't matter whether you're in the opposition or in the government, we have the standing to fix the problem for this country. We have it. So, Mr. Speaker, I finally end my debate in support of the bill. I said, despite whatever circumstances, I humbly ask your wisdom to support this bill. Thank you, Honourable Speaker.
The Honourable Opposition Leader.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Me stand up on behalf of the opposition. First of all, no toko sa mimpla by supporting bill. Mimpla supporting Mr. Bill. Increase of the Essential Services Act bill is basically an amendment of the Act 2002. So the law is already in place, Mr. Speaker. In a new plan law, and we are here simply to increase the penalties. The country has gone through a period of a lot of changes. And through these changes, plenty something where you may enact in law parliament has remained the same for a very long time. And a need has come up, and we know that this bill is in compliance with all constitutional requirements. And so, Mipla law opposition, Mipla one bill, one time minister, also Mipla bill and Gupla bill. It will assist government and by also assist him, support him, work blow all industries blaming. It is here to protect the interest of Papua New Guineans. And so, time we sit down and talk, we are looking for this bill, the amendment bill of 2024 must be supported. It's a very little amendment, but an amendment that is significant and proper for this country. Also, on behalf of the opposition, Mr. Speaker, my debate is short. The requirements of the Constitution are already there. It is an amendment to an existing bill, 2002, and now 2024. After more than 20 years, we've seen the need to support our people. Me like talk also, Mr. Speaker. Me pla la opposition, me pla supporting this bill. Now we want this bill to go through. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
I got question be put to finish. That's all. Mami use him discretion blow here because two bla member is not finish. Mami allow him to play talk. Na finish lo this lab. May entertain him question be put. Am I right? So honorable member belong above we pass them behind. But honorable member belong one more green you finish him.
I just want to raise some clarity on this bill. First clarity is on Section 9 of the 202 Procedural Services Act. The amendment that is before us, Mr. Minister is recommending, which he has written A and B upside down. In the original act, A is for corporate and B is for personal. Now, he has removed on the net profit of person from 100,000 to 500,000, he has removed the 6 months or less prison option. Whether the minister has meant that, and if a person doesn't pay 500,000, he will go to prison for not less than 6 months. Is that amendment for real? That 6 months imprisonment is removed from this amendment? That's the first clarity I want to check. The second clarity is I would like to ask the minister whether the regulation is on board after we passed this act in 2002. And the reason why I'm asking this is because under Section 2 of the Essential Services Act, it defines what are the essential services. And I want to read them out for the purpose of the argument that I'm going to put forward. This includes Section 2, A, electricity, B, water, C, sewage, D, postal services, E, civil aviation, F, radio and television, G, health, H, transport, I, telecommunication, J, access to ports and harbors, and any other prescribed services. I want to comment on the top of the list, which is electricity. It is prescribed in this Act as an essential service. But the electricity density in this country, in my view, is less than 20%. So this essential service has not covered the country. People are above, no God. So we are denying of this essential service. So the state is at fault. So what I want to see the regulation. How do we handle this law in terms of health, for example? If the doctors go on strike, nurses go on strike, and the emergency is not attended to, how do we attend to this? It's an essential service, etc., etc. On those I read them out. And so a regulation, Honorable Speaker, is very, very important in this important bill, because this essential services basically protects the citizens, both public and private, from being denied of these prescribed services called essential services. Honorable Speaker, I think PhD powers will be taken to court. For denying essential services to your parliament this morning. So, while we are passing this act, I think we really have to be careful on trying to structure the laws that we pass, because I think we are not there yet. I want to raise these issues because it has to prompt all of us to make sure that essential services are provided to every citizen in this country. Thank you.
The Honourable Member for Vanimo.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Speaker, me Sanaplong support in favor of this bill. But me like talk also this bill me late too much. I would have thought that this bill would have been introduced long time, especially when the country has been facing serious issue of fuel crisis and a serious issue of our airline not flying. I would have thought that this bill would have been brought much, much earlier. But I'm thankful to the Minister for bringing this bill. I sympathize when the Prime Minister was flying to Singapore to negotiate with Puma Energy to make sure the provision of fuel is made available in order for our aircrafts to fly, in order for our generators to operate. It is this bill that is so important to prevent persons or corporations from holding our country and our citizens at ransom. This we have witnessed in the last 2 years. Businesses have lost business. Individuals have been denied their basic rights because we were unable to enforce the Essential Services Act. This bill will now stand to prevent persons or corporations from taking and holding the state and the citizens at ransom. On the other hand, the state is obligated, and I repeat, state is obligated to provide essential services to the citizens. And those essential services have been read out by our good member for ABBA, and I wish not to repeat them. And in recent times, our country has been going through electricity crisis. Most of our towns and cities do not have proper water supply and sewer and sanitation. Telecommunication in most areas is inefficient. Our hospitals and our schools are lacking in providing proper services to our citizens. These are basic services that we need to provide as the government. We are obligated under the Constitution. This bill, Mr. Speaker, and I hope those who have been impeding those services. And it includes individuals and groups who have been digging trenches along the roads. What have we done to them? Have we arrested them and brought them to justice? Or have we fined them? I believe we haven't. So we can bring this bill to Parliament, we can get it passed now, but then it's the enforcement. We have passed most of the laws on this floor of Parliament. What's lacking in this country is enforcement of those laws. And I hope after we pass this Essential Services Amendment Bill Act 2002, it will now alleviate the issue of fuel problem, and we must have regular flights to all the provinces in our country. There must be fuel in all the centers so that generators can operate and provide services to all our citizens in the country. See, one of the reasons why the price of goods and services are going up is because of the fuel crisis. And when you have the price of fuel going up, it makes it difficult for shipments to come in. And then it causes the price of goods and services to go up. So we must, as a government, take responsibility. And if anybody is to impede those services, and I wish to support the member for Aba, that there must be in this bill a provision where if the person or persons or corporation fails to pay the fine, they must be imprisoned. They must be imprisoned because we cannot play with the lives of our citizens, with the rights of our citizens. Those are basic rights, and they have the constitutional right to have access to those basic services. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
The question is, the question be now put. Those in favor say aye. Aye. Those against say no. The ayes have it. Mr. Minister. Mr. Clark. Mr. Clark. The question is that the bill be now read a second time. Those in favor say aye. Aye. Those against say no. The ayes have it. Mr. Clark.
Second reading, a bill for an act to amend the Essential Services Act 2002 and for related purposes.
Mr. Minister.
Mr. Speaker, I ask leave of the Parliament to move the third reading forthwith.
Is leave granted? Leave granted, Mr. Minister.
Mr. Speaker, I move that the bill now be read a third time and for leave to make a short speech.
Mr. Minister.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. The intention of this amendment, let us be clear, and that is that these penalty provisions are only triggered when in the first instance a state of emergency or an emergency is declared in a particular area of service, for example, in the fuel service or in water supply or power supply. In this instance, we have a situation where a supplier of fuel, although was in a position, had the amount of fuel to provide on commercial terms to its customers for reasons known to itself only, refused deliberately or otherwise to make fuel available even when the buyers were ready to pay cash up front. So these penalty provisions, Mr. Speaker, are only triggered when Cabinet advised the head of state to issue a state of emergency in a particular situation. A similar situation would apply, Mr. Speaker, in the case of a power producer. If an independent power producer such as Dirio, New Power or POSCO, although it was able to provide power for reasons known to itself only, refused to provide power to our cities, then of course the government would then go to the stage of having a state of emergency declared. And even after that declaration had been made, that supplier refused, then these penalty provisions would apply. It is not in the case where the penalties would apply automatically. You first have to declare a state of emergency after having recognized that a particular essential service provider has deliberately, due to its own reasons, failed to provide that essential service, whether it be in water or power or even in fuel. And I said earlier, Mr. Speaker, in the case of power, we now have a number of independent power producers. And if they were to, due to their own reasons, deliberately fail to provide power to our services, of course the government has those powers to first take the step of declaring a state of emergency and issue emergency directions. And if that supplier deliberately still fail to comply with those directions, then these penalty provisions would be triggered. So it is not as if a government of the day would use those provisions to simply penalize a company automatically. So they are safeguard provisions recognizing the ability and the rights of those independent essential suppliers in this country. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
The question is that the question we now put. Those in favor say aye. Aye. Those against say no. The ayes have it. The question is that the bill be now read a third time. Those in favor say aye. Aye. Those against say no. The ayes have it. Mr. Clark.
Third reading, a bill for an act to amend the Essential Services Act 2002 and for related purposes.
Thank you, Mr. Minister. Mr. Clark.
The Minister assisting the Prime Minister on Treasury matters gives notice that he has presented a bill for an act to amend the Central Banking Act 2000 and for related purposes.
Honorable members, you may be calm in the morning. Na power in our right to mass. Ekon no work. Be it adjourn him house or suspend him parliament longolo lunch. Na ba you may come back. Lo business flow day. Me like talk thank you long line. Go na talking PNG power na straight him today. You may can feel him call lo ekon inside the parliament. During lunch hour. Committee and me sit down. Private members committee. Lo look lo notice lo display. We are when see lo Prime Minister. And me believe country he like harem display. Now over the line he look forward lo display. Business. I'm straight up. Now you me over the member of parliament too. So me also speaker usari ko pass. Now me chairman lo display private members committee. Me too like make him this walk. Now he must come up because country like him he must come up. Horrible.
Sorry, Honorable Speaker, you keep on talking about committee as private members committee.
Private business committee. Thank you. Honorable member of Abao and point of order in order. Me aswa. Private business committee. Iblahar in Papua New Guinea. Private business committee. I'm straight. So committee me also chairman lo this committee also speaker. Me like walking walk lo me also me this man. I represent him interest lo country. Me no ko side lo government, na me no ko side long larva side opposition usa di bring him notice he come. Me must walk in the best interest of the country and I try my best to do that. So decision by me work him or committee by me will come up longan. It must also the best interest for country. Laka. You mean like looking also? I'm straight. I'm now. So the findings for committee after the last week time notice he come. You mean looking one blah law or point or technical requirement where law talk na process to give me behind him number 1, number 2, number 3, number 4, number 5 lah. Uridim decision blow polia versus urine walk. There's a time I'm talk. There's a vote of no confidence law Prime Minister. It's not a parochial matter. It is an important matter to the country. And the reason is this. Reason I'm also. Because of this vote of no confidence am successful, a Prime Minister would be changed and the government would be changed. So you know like something. And big important something, laga. So all same na committee blomi must try him best long and when the meal or make him straight walk. Now he must make him straight walk long and so that it is in the interest of the country. So last week order you me talking business me no can repeat him and me no meet him one requirement. Where me talk law requirement number 5 and names long all this 10%, which is 10% of the seats in parliament, which is 12 or 11.8, so she put him exactly, but 11.8 you round him go and 12 blah member. One blah is short law last week. Now you may already accept him, I'm straight and we been 11 blah. Now. No, you redeem decision belong you got on interpretation below you, me got below me redeem decision below court and me talk imas also. But so si tu no one below the sla, but you must go back and long. Me one below go back and long. Lord, today, committee sit down and find him out. Point number 1, am you right? Technical point number 1, you're right. Number 2, all right. Number 3, all right. Number 4, all right. Number 5, then you got legally aswak. Yes. So behind you can go look him. Now you talk me con or me gaman or not. But also me like talk. Now me explain it. Me finish. Then you talk also me wrong. Time me look at me go. He got one blood name. He stop. All this blood 10 blood is support him. And me name me turn him. Committee looking. Now name me talk also. Horrible Hewabi Maso. You at be finished behind or you like in point of order? When I'm point of order. Okay. I'm straight.
To the letter of the word.
Thank you, point of order. You sit down. Law read. The read is a legal document. I'm straight. You will agree on me? Okay, good. Time you look him read. And he need no name lo candidate who said he win him is a sia. And we talk all same footnote someone need lo read which is a legal document. And we talk all same say name he can pass. Behind first name. All right, you got interpretation below you. I want to be fair. Let me. All right. Yes, you wait. You heard him. Wait, may I explain him? Show me behind him read. Wait. The practice, wait, practice lo parliament before, lo time lo samare, come down. Me finish pasem, me finish. Let him order. Wait, I will give you opportunity to speak. Let me finish. Let me finish, and then you can give your argument. Wait. All right, me come again. Suppose me like be animal, same you talk, yeah. Suppose me like be animal, same talk, you talk. You hurry me, pass him. Hey, pass him mouse. Pass him. All right. Suppose me behind him, same talk, you talk. No good, you correct. Now me wrong because no read notice long 13th na 14th February. Me go back no previous notice na me go look him. You wait. Me go back na me go look him. Wait. Hurry him. Time me go back na me go look him. Please, you hurry me past him. Honorable member, can you listen to me first? Listen to me and let me explain it, and when I finish, you can come in. Wait. Member, you heard him. When I'm finished, I think that you can talk sorry on me. I I believe what I'm saying. All right, Harim Pasem. Harim. Suppose me behind him. Suppose me behind him also. Honorable member Long. He require you will talk. Or Arpla member will sign lo here too. Is wrong too. Also you. Also on Narbla. Read now is all 6 members. All 6 members named only Tanim Loritu. It's not same. Yes, it is. It's a fact. All right. Wait. May explain him again. And if I want to do it exactly on that read, Arim. Honorable member, suppose me be animal same read to me talk na you me talk exact name. You got none point to start me no come yet long end. Me no Paul. The other member on the read here member not Bougainville, her name on the read. Her name on the read where Governor General let me sign him at that time. Now when you wait, let me finish. What is the point of order?
Point of order, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, when you read out the decision last time, you did not talk about names, Mr. Speaker. It's on record, on NSET. You boxed in your decision by saying you qualified 1, 2, 3, and then you just said 4. One signature was missing. One name was
5.
missing. You did not say on the 5. On the 5th one. You did not say the reads reflected different names. Your decision reflects, and it's on NSET, Mr. Speaker, that you said out of the 5 conditions, 4 were met. The 5th one was that one number was missing. Now you are changing the decision, Mr. Speaker, and it's on record. Thank you.
You are correct. You are correct. That's what I said. But then when we look at the notice of motion again, there is another failure in it, and that's what I'm highlighting. Now me no looking. Me looking. You black come kisim read, all the black come kisim all copy blow read, slow parliament, and you went through it and you saw it. There's another one, if we have to follow the signatures on the read and the name of the read. The other one is the honorable member for North Bougainville. Her name on the read is Francisca Rihanna Semoso. And on the notice paper is only Francisca Semoso. So you see, that's what you are saying. Member, you wait. This is the point. You like talk. You like talk. You me behind him, read straight them this liar. Yes.
W. Anything parochial is not a basis to reject a VONC. So suppose one man talk maso hewabi or hewabi maso. You follow one him up. That's parochial. And same man. You clear?
The whole country knows who.
Okay. Enough. Also me talk finish here. Okay. Thank you. Point of order, Honorable Member Sinasinayagamul. I agree with that. I would want to go to the person who interprets the law, now interprets for us. I'm happy. My point is this. Because the motion of no confidence is an important matter. And if I entertain the motion, and it changes, it is successful, and it changes a prime minister or a government, and we go back to the court, someone goes back to the court and asks to interpret this part, and the court says it's the opposite. So what do you say? So for me, I am suggesting we have all the time to do this. Yes. And we do it right. Let me go to the court, and you come with me, and we ask the court to interpret this. Okay? I am happy to do it here. Let the parliament decide now on that. How about that? Because I have made a decision that is not right. Allow the parliament to make the decision. Yes? Can we do that? Okay, wait. Advice block clerk economy. And we don't have decision block committee. Now you may be in committee. But suppose me also speaker, he like release, he overruling decision block committee. Wait, let me finish.
Mr. Speaker, in the chamber, committee no stop here. You stop, you boss. You can override the committee too.
All right. That's what I want to say. That's what I want to say. That is what I want to say. If I have to override the committee's decision now, I will ask the parliament to make the decision on that. And that is to call for a vote. That is to call for a vote whether that notice be on the notice paper tomorrow or not. Okay? How about that? What is your point about the honorable member for hearing query?
Thank you kindly, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, the Supreme Court decision where you've been citing, Polia versus Zulonwo, instead of this judgment, court yet to talk the duties of the, when it comes to a matter of national importance, such as the VONC, the committee can be ignored. The notice gets to the clerk, and the clerk can take it to the speaker and put it on. Go and read it! Go and read it, lawyer! Go and read it! Go and read it! So that's the spirit of the judgment, sir.
Thank you. You are correct. You are correct. It only says, you wait, let me answer his point of order. Honorable member query. Now. Honorable member hearing query. Milek sensim name lo query here, you talking wrong. Milek talk me name lo member yourself, you talking wrong. Come on. Get it right. Alright, Milek talk yourself. In the decision you talking me, and court yourself. You talk. Time committee is not available. Time committee is not available. Then the speaker, in his capacity as a chairman, can make a decision on that. But if the committee is available and the committee has dealt with it, the decision of the committee has come out on that. But now, Arim got committee now. Inside what is the decision too. Suppose me read him krange me dog. Suppose he come on the floor. Now, parliament or when parliament can make him decision on this law. And it means that now I'm calling. Now I am saying, because he is a motion, whether to be put on the notice paper or not on the notice paper. Yes. What's your point of order?
Up until this afternoon, you had the respect of the people of this country. I'll tell you why. I'll tell you why. The people of Western Province, if you ask the people of Western Province, who is Hewabi Maso? All by Soimiu. If you ask the people of Papua New Guinea, who is Francisca Semoso? All by Pointy Mem Lohatia. The only people in the country that are confused as to who these MPs are seems to be yourself and the government. You blame us away.
Thank you.
Mr. Speaker, you are making a mockery of yourself and the House. In the eyes of the people of the country. Oh, look, stop now. You're making mockery.
Thank you.
You talk us, you blame us away. Usaitem Hewabi Maso, now Usaitem Francisca Semoso. You are saying you don't know who these people are, and they are present in the chamber.
Thank you.
They are present.
You working point of order, finish.
Thank you.
You sit down. Thank you. Honorable Governor, please speak. We want me come, honorable member, blah, blah. Let me address this point of order. Now you talk, you talk also. You mark him mouse to Papua New Guinea thing also. That is your view. It's not view of the people of this country. Mainly, if only people of this country, only simple process and procedure, nali redeem, nali whenever understanding. You are arguing on your interest. You wearing sulahap, olia only want to support lo su only wearing lahap. Me na melman na miulo tok tokol sem na melwan. I want to do it right. So now, based on this, being back in decision now, but you may vote. Yes, in the fair interest of this country. You may vote that notice be put, that VON should be put on the notice paper tomorrow or not, based on the committee's decision. Okay, Honorable Opposition Leader, me been asking Honorable Member about by giving point of order, but say me recognize me being me come to you.
Completely out of control.
Honorable Member about please. Hey, up in the subordinate.
For the purposes of our people listening today,
What?
I want to do a little bit of explanation and put my point of order. Number one, Section 22 of the standing orders provides for the establishment of the private business committee. This is why I interfered with you. You kept on calling your committee the wrong name. You didn't even know the name of your committee, which is called Private Business Committee. Mr. Speaker, if you look at your standing order under which you are the chairman of this legislature, you and the deputy are part of the committee. 5 members are part of the committee. Unfortunately, the country must know that all the 5 members in this committee are members of the government.
Now you come over to
Mr. Speaker, Mr. Speaker, we all know that you, as Speaker, also a member of the Parliament Party.
Just like that. Mickey Mouse Committee.
And so the committee is all members from the government. And as chair, as a member of the leading political party of Parliament. Honorable Speaker, can you look into one of the cameras and tell the people of this country,
Honestly. Yes, please.
that you are not biased? Honorable Speaker, you as chair of also the standing committee of this honorable house. The standing committee recommends that if there are issues that the parliament is going through, the committee structure must be changed. And so, in my point of order, I strongly recommend, Honorable Speaker, that we change the structure of the parliamentary committee, because in my humble opinion and in my strong view, that committee is biased.
Absolutely. Right.
Do us a favor.
For now, name the committee member.
Chair of the standing committee, because we have seen today that there is a disagreement amongst us. The country we cannot allow the country to wait forever. And you also confirmed with us that this constitutional motion is of national importance. And so any issue that is parochial, your committee should not stand strong with that. For example, for me, I experienced in the counting system, say Pukatemu, Pukatemu. They disputed the votes for me when they say Pukatemu. But is there another Pukatemu in Papua New Guinea? So the spirit is actually, the truth is, this name, Papa name comes backside now, first name comes second. And whose side came? Same. committee picking up these silly parochial issues and preventing this motion, constitutional motion, to be dealt by the Honorable Parliament. This is the floor where that motion must come. This is legally something, yeah. If behind you legally something, let me give you two examples. Our first motion nominated Honorable Alan Baird as our candidate, and we designated him as regional member. Your committee said, no, God, no can call him regional, call him provincial.
And that's a parochial.
That's a parochial one again.
Yeah, good.
And then the second one, that we did not have an explanation, and then you say the honorable member for North Fly, his signature was exactly the same as the first motion. Therefore, somebody must have photocopied it.
Yeah.
So people must know that the committee has rejected these two motions because of those reasons. And now we're talking about name, Papa you go first, and Papa you go second, but the reach actually say the way that we have submitted. So, Honorable Speaker, you have to address the issue of the membership of the Private Business Committee, include a member from the opposition to be in the Private Business Committee, to bring in this silly politics, one-sided, two-each. Mr. Speaker, only you, as head of the legislature, can solve this issue of the constitutional motion. Honorable Speaker, I request you not to play. I ask you to look into the camera and tell the people.
Sorry, let me address this point of order. Let me address your point of order. I agree with you on your point of order. On the members of the private committee. The committee members in Parliament are always nominated by the government of the day. I, as the Speaker, don't appoint those committees. And last week, after my meeting, I mentioned this to Clark, my officers there. I said, I think we should change the members of the committee because we don't have a representation. Let me finish that. Huh?
Mr. Speaker, with respect to your line that you use.
Honorable Prime Minister, what is your point of order?
Thank you. My point of order is government does not appoint. Parliament appoints. Government proposes a name, Parliament votes on a name.
Correct.
If gentlemen on the other side want to change members of the private members committee, they can move a motion right now. Mr. Speaker, that's where you want to test the numbers. They could move a motion, change the committee right now, there and then. Otherwise, the number stands up. Parliament appoints, Mr. Speaker, not government.
Point of order, Prime Minister, I'm missing order because on the Parliament approve him. Sorry, me aswa. Government me nominate him name. Now Parliament shall give him talk right long. I'm straight. So passem me toggle sem. Me bin toggle sem. Government appointed, but government nominate him name. Now Parliament me endorse him. Now me like toggle sem. Honorable Member Blong about. Last week I was of the same opinion. I told my officers we need to have a member, at least one, from the opposition to come in and sit on the behalf. I said this at Clark. I was genuine about it, and I am genuine about it. So I said it is only fair that we have a member representing the opposition should be in the committee, so that what is discussed in the committee is substrate. Now. So no point of order. I agree on the middle of this plan. Yes. What is your point of order?
Gamile ask him leave Lucello. Ask him the question leave. Thank you.
What is your point of order? You like ask him leave Lucello.
From the chair to ask you a question. Thank you.
Embanogat. advice now to me not gonna entertain him.
Point of order. Then I come as a point of order. Mr. Speaker, can you read him this year last time? I would like to understand and think that it was the same committees who met last time, correct? And you as chairman and deputy speaker as deputy chairman presided over that committee. Now the way the addition was structured, you boxed the committee in saying, 1, am you right? 2, you right? 3, you right? 4, am you right? 5, that's all. Am you not right because some name is missing. The committee in its wisdom should have then said, no, must be in stop straight. Fences in stop straight. But you qualified all the other 4. You qualified all the other 4, Mr. Speaker. The committee qualified all the other 4. Now you are saying you are looking back on 1, 2, 3, and 4. Mr. Speaker, you have to be consistent with your ruling. And that's unanswered. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
I'm straight. Honorable member of Pinchaben, you are correct in that. Me play bin looking this la. Na no looking this na reply. Now me play I'm looking. So time when me come up. You may got, okay, but me entertain him. Last to point of order, then I will make a decision. Am I right? Honorable Governor Blong Morobe, when a point of order, behind me come long Yalibu Pangia.
Mr. Speaker, standing order is stop. You mean para go come to standing order and stop. Standing order is stop. I'm good. Standing order, give him notice, equal long business. Private business committee on this side. You like him or you don't like him? That's all. The chairman of this committee by bringing him come long parliament. By bringing him come long parliament, now and by giving this symbol him. You like him or not? That's all. And got power to make him decisions. Now come talk out. Now talk him you long decision belong him. You am a must or you know I'm a must, but and by come. No.
Honorable Larem finishing na bien me kam layo. Honorable Governor, Honorable Governor Morobe, Honorable Governor Morobe, you make another point over there. Okay. Let him finish and then I will entertain your point of order. Honorable Governor Morobe. Let him finish his point of order and then I'll rule on it and I'll come to you. That's what the standing order says.
Yeah, sorry, Prataplomi. Sorry, Prataplomi. You shall law, na me too, me shall law, but you may ask him, man will give him ruling. Thank you. Me no man will give him ruling. And this man, sorry, speaker sit down there and by give him ruling. Behind him law, na behind him standing order. Also now, long you, with due respect, member of Young you respect. Speaker, by giving this symbol on this committee, he come on this parliament behind him standing order. You are a must or you know a must. That's what, and by giving decision. Now time you can talk rubbish, that's all, and by giving decision. So time and give him decision. And give him decision. And give him decision. And give him decision. Up to you. Long accept him or no God. Suppose you don't accept him. Go to court. Go to court. Go to court. Okay?
Honorable Governor to the chair.
Now. Mr. Speaker, me ask him, you will make him decision for you now. That's it.
Honorable Member of Yalibu Pangia.
Thank you, a very important, as you say, constitutional motion. Now, in order to talk to yourself, you like all of court, it's an interpretation of that's all. What you work in decision, reference to court, decision of court, you got this. The case to follow and then focus. I'm start to handle this. Now, you yet saw it, then I saw it all. Well, big people, governor, Blomilo, Morobe. But we understand it, Blomilo, some of the time we spend in the parliament. Stand in order and we give him guide, or members and process for parliamentary meeting. We like Sawa or Simba, stand in order and we are proceeding constitutional law. We are proceeding decision law, Supreme Court. Constitution talk very clearly how the motion of no confidences must be taken. Now, Supreme Court, you work in decision law, you finish. Now, you yet Sawa or Simba, as a committee you chair, Mr. Speaker. And one of the party, that's only got all members inside. Now, sometimes you politics, but there is a fact, Mr. Speaker. You know what my man get? Some of the noise here. There's plenty of legally something. Suppose country, our leaders for country, got confidence for government, only got the right to express in this law or this law. Yeah. Mr. Speaker. What did you direction finish? You yet you have finished the decision of last time for country. Now, we saw also, now government got a number. Why did you plus with number finish for this law for over the sun? Why did you make law? Confusing country and confusing Islams. So please, work in right decision so that you can fully do something or settling. We like a plan challenge like any inside the country. So please, you work in right decision and you can finish themselves. Suppose no that, Mr. Speaker. You yet you talk finish or say, suppose for 15 volume, but you accepted the solution. I'm understanding the total volume mixing. The parliamentary system law, this like a process law, democracy, meetup, and the Westminster. And need also, you go against the government, so you should resign. Exactly. And also, way, the Westminster system. Correct. You resign now, suppose only believe you can, only can create anything you can. That is a normal, right way to bring the integrity of this house back.
That's right,
member of the Young Pakia, whatever you talking, and straight of self you talking. Me, also Speaker, and this is self we can make it today. Whether we are holding December committee, December committee, and you know how much we got to court or the slab. But you talk to me, the resign of Speaker, yes, me prepared.
Okay, give him now. Give him now.
Me talk to Malay.
Give him now, that's all.
Me go up there. You know how me yet? You heard me Pasem? You heard me Pasem? Me finish na you beg him. Apa say talk winning simi. Talk winning simi also in parliament by agenda Tuesday. Me talk him on Assembly line. Kiman no government me talk so possible agenda Tuesday me resign also speaker.
Well, now you resign.
That's the committee notice must come through the committee la luguluk lawan Pasem. Na make him decision. No can have him. So the base long talk lu honorable member of Yali Bupangya. If I make a decision now, advise me look sim look clerk and will sem and decision the committee. You know how much? Me suppose me upholding decision the committee. Tomorrow by me go court. Me go court, he talking me. That there's a decision committee working and me wrong, and me not straight. Now based on that, decision committee working me the committee blame me wrong, I will tender my resignation. Yes. I'm now. So I'm thinking blame me. Suppose Decision block committee now me talking about family regime na iblaw. Harimia. Yes.
Mr. Speaker, decision of Supreme Court I mean clear. Also, committee no got power no killing. Vote of no confidence. I am telling you the decision of the Supreme Court. We can't disrespect the Supreme Court. Leaders, come on. Plan the time, you me broken law, you me making nothing, broken bush, you must stop. But you go back to the Supreme Court and I go hunt up him decision, come on. I'm telling you now. It says that the committee has no power to kill the Vong at the committee stage. Only the parliament can deal with that. That's what the decision says. Only the parliament can kill it, not the committee. What you are doing is killing it at the committee stage. So I'm just like teaching me like give him long.
All right. Me, point of order, finish. Thank you. Thank you. Opposition leader Ibn Senablo asking point of order, but me give last point of order opposition leader. Behind me making decision, Chair.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Honorable member, can you give respect to the opposition leader? And I'm giving point of order long and please. You will have finished. You will have finished. You will have finished, sir. But me asking honorable opposition leader to give point of order long.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. To maintain some decorum and respect in this House. Mr. Speaker, me stand up here as opposition leader. You heard him talk the opposition finish, Mr. Speaker. Me heard him talk to you too. Mr. Speaker, all people blame me sit down the gallery. And millions are watching us on TV. All heard him voice blame me law radios. Now they wonder, is this how Papua New Guinea is? Is this how Papua New Guinea runs its business? Mr. Speaker, they even ask, is this how the chair operates?
That's right. You will not finish, Mr. Speaker.
And Mr. Speaker, I stand here, verbally karai logisla, kind passin. You be walking, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, when you made a ruling that time you will finish, na mi walking dishin blow me, by me go lo courts, na asking court lo look lo dishin me walking. Mr. Speaker, why didn't you come to this House and advise this House that there is some legal implications and I need to get clarification? Mr. Speaker. You sit down lo up, na you lo harem sin out lo 2+ side lo House. Now you talk, me no blow side blow, me no side blow, you blow. You're supposed to be the neutral person. Also, Mr. Speaker, time you talk, by me allowing Parliament, law vote where by me put him law, notice paper. Mr. Speaker, you papa blow this House. You look inside the standing orders blow you. Does it allow it? If it does not allow it, take control of your House, Mr. Speaker. You sit down, awesome chief blow this House. You and me, we come from chiefs in our community.
Act like that.
Act like one of them. And take control. Mr. Speaker, I as the opposition leader, me stand up, me like asking you, number one,
court working decision finish, then you serve an audition. Number two, and me talk finish. Kissing something like decorum come inside the legislative house. Some form of respect, so that our people out there can respect you, can respect the Prime Minister, can respect me as opposition leader, and respect everybody. Based on decisions that you make, that are right for the people of Papua New Guinea. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
No, that's the last point of order. I will not entertain any more point of order now. Honorable members, I will make a decision now. Sorry, government did not give this aside, so I will allow this man to give his point of order. What is your point of order, Honorable Minister?
Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Yes.
I think the proceedings have gone...
Yeah, member for Rigo, sorry, my apologies.
Okay. Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I think we have gone too far already, but I think everybody has expressed their position very clearly. I want to just make a comment. This is not about killing the motion. This is... No, you listen.
Listen to some advice.
We heard you. Now can you hear us? Okay. Now this is about the standards of the motion. Now I was here as the Clerk of Parliament when the Governor General's election was messed up, because I was imposing a standard that the courts said was not perfect enough. Court said this, and Semari Kapi was the Chief Justice. He said this is a constitutional motion. It's not an ordinary motion. This is a constitutional motion because it's going to have an impact. So he said the standard must be perfect. And he also said this. The names, we all know the names, but it must be the names that appear in the writ. And that is perfect. So I don't know what the standards were, but I'm assuming that the Speaker is following those standards. So if the standard, if my name is Ano Pala in the writ, then you put the Ano Rao Pala on the motion, then that's not in order. Correct. But you see, that was okay. But you see, that was Semari Kapi. Okay, that is, you know, Semari Kapi had very high standards, and we tried it 2 times. We came back, and I said, this the member you know already. But Semari Kapi said, no, that's not perfect enough, because this is a constitutional motion. This is the highest standard you must impose. So just listening to the Speaker, maybe we haven't reached the highest standard, because this motion demands nothing less than the perfect standard. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Honorable Minister. That is exactly what I am thinking, or I've been thinking. But the others think otherwise. So, Milarima, Honorable Iduhu, and then you'll finish him, and I will make a decision. I want to make a decision.
Thank you for your indulgence, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, the judgment that has been referred to exhaustively this afternoon is the one of Polye versus Zerno. At paragraph 43, don't whistle, paragraph 43 of the judgment, Mr. Speaker, I want to read it out. These are not my thoughts, these are the thoughts of the court. We might learn something if we just listen. It is not for the committee to vet the notice and terminate it before it reaches Parliament. The committee is given no such power by Section 145 of the Constitution, and the standing orders to terminate a notice of motion of no confidence before it reaches Parliament. Provided the 5 technical requirements have been met, the test in Standing Order 22 sub 3. Listen, Doctor. Order 22.3 does not. I'm the lawyer, so listen. Standing Order 22.3 does not apply to a motion of no confidence. I'm going to repeat myself here. The committee is given no such power by Section 145 of the Constitution, and the standing orders to terminate a notice of motion of no confidence before it reaches Parliament. Provided the 5 technical requirements have been met, the test in Standing Order 22 does not apply to a motion of no confidence. A notice of motion of no confidence is too important a matter of national importance to be terminated by the committee. Under Standing Order 22.
Exactly.
So those parochial issues do not apply.
Exactly.
Thank you.
You're correct.
So, in application of that ratio decidendi to the facts as they are, Mr. Speaker, the motion qualifies to go on the notice paper tomorrow, in my suggestion. Thank you.
Honourable Member Blong, Koyarihiri, that is exactly what I'm saying, because one of the 5 technical requirements, the committee thought it wasn't met because of the name. Because the technical requirement, wait, let me finish with him.
Are you confused? Are you? If you want, then that's parochial.
All right.
You go to the courtroom, they'll ask you the same thing.
Honorable
Ask your honorable
Member Blong, Sina Yangabul. When I'm work block committee, suppose now, Honorable Kairaku Hiri Koyari will talk him. That is not need long committee make him this. What is the need of the committee then? It should go straight to Parliament under Section 145. Because the work of the committee is to vet the notice, and if it is in order, meeting all the 5 technical requirements, it comes true. And if they see there is a defect on one of those technical requirements, and that is what the committee has done, it made in its findings, and I'm reporting it, and you are not agreeing with me. So, because of this me I'm working decision. And decision am tubla, whether I uphold the decision of the committee or I don't uphold the decision of the committee. On this side, you would want me not to uphold the decision of the committee. On this side, they would want me to uphold the decision of the committee. I am caught in the middle. I want to do it right. And I'm saying I should go to the court. And the court give me the interpretation based on technical point number 5. So decision law chair now. Because you tubla side. Country will harem. Only not believe in me. Only not believe in me. Based on comment will this line no upside. Country no believe in me. Now you play staff will same. Decision block committee now. M me rouse him. Now behind him like Luibla. But you may put him on notice paper tomorrow. Now in opinion check. Me ba me go court tomorrow. No ask him court the decision where me rouse him. Now decision block committee where you right or you wrong. Ba me go. People blow me la manu soli harem. Now I'll begin ni blow me family blow me marry oli harem. Same me al tuba karem. So based on decision block court. So basol talk me work me decision block committee based on names now this la. You know straight now they rouse him. You know behind him thinking block committee. Prime Minister me by me resign as speaker. Bami resign. So decision blow me now. I mean, I'm when I'm point about W, Prime Minister.
Mr. Speaker, you don't need law hard work. You don't need law hard work. You're normal man in here. You don't need law hard work. Addition blow you work him here, maybe let's side like dissent. Now, but you test him, just like dissent of vote. That's it. You don't need law hard work. Every something. Maybe like dissent blow you. Now, but you test him, just like dissent of vote. Now, you must be an him dissent of committee.
Thank you.
Mr. Clark, what is your advice? This is not a motion.
Okay. I will make a ruling here. Ruling me working finish. And suppose you have said he no agree, give a dissent when them now by the parliament vote on him. Decision now. Decision now and me rouse him decision the committee. Parliament dictates. Mr. Clark. Standing order 96, before you make your point of order, honorable member. Standing order 96.1. If an objection is to be taken to a ruling of the speaker, the objection must be taken at once and a motion of dissent to be submitted in writing and moved. Number 2, if a motion of dissent referred to in subsection 1 is seconded, it shall be proposed to the parliament and debate on it shall proceed immediately.
Mr. Speaker.
Honorable member of Finchapen, what's your point of order?
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. We respect that the government has the numbers, and they would want to show numerical strength. Now, the procedure is, even if the Prime Minister puts a dissension, someone must second. There was no second in the room. No one seconded it. No one seconded it, Mr. Speaker, and you heard it. Mr. Speaker, on record, you've made a ruling. Mr. Clark used to advise him. As the chair, you have made a ruling, and it's on record that you've made a ruling. Thank you.
We go by that. Thank you, Honorable. What is your point of order?
Yes, I want to take you back to Standing Order 96. Yes. If you look at the title above there, that part relates to rulings on points of order. Your ruling here is not in respect of a point of order, but the decision of a private business committee. You're not making a ruling on a point of order. You're making a ruling on a decision that's made by the private business committee. It's separate. This rule 96 that you are relying upon does not apply. It does not apply. You read it properly. You read your rule properly. Here, can I read the title? I'll read the title. The title says this: Points of Order and Speaker's Ruling. So it's only in relation to points of order, rulings on points of order, this rule applies. You are making a ruling here on the recommendations of the private business committee. So this part here doesn't apply. Get it clear.
Okay. Okay, me walk in ruling blow me yet, na ibla lo sing out. Ibla na stop na me finish him ruling blow me. No, you know this side. You will this side. No, no parliament. They are my advisors. They've been doing here. They've been doing this thing over and over again. These officers. So me will talk all Sam. Big committee and working decision finish. No alright him this motion. Now me now ruling blow me because no you plan this line. Me talk by me overruling decision of committee. Now Larry motion by the notice paper. So lo despla. Usat emino hamamas la ruling the speaker now. You can put him dissension because this is point 96. I'm no ruling the speaker. Yes, and these are the points of orders you're giving me. Based on that. Yes. Honorable Governor, when I'm point over W.
You suppose long give him decision blown this committee. You semen by the standing order. You know by me. You know by me. By the standing order. I'm supposed to give decision. Speaker supposed to give him decision. No. Mr. Speaker, you're supposed to give him decision from committee. No, this is a parliament. Now, Speaker, you don't got power. You don't got power. No, citizen decision from committee. Right? No. Speaker has no standing. All right? So, Speaker, you stick by the decision of that committee. If they don't like it, go to the court.
Honorable Member Blopani Mogren. Honorable Member Blopani Mogren. Honorable Member notice, you sit down, please. Honorable Member notice, you sit down, please. Order. Hey, order. Hey, Honorable Member must be noticed. You sit down. Honorable Member must be noticed. Honorable Member must be noticed. You sit down. Honorable Member Blopani Mogren.
You can number here. Why you come, sir? No, you have the number. You stop, you see. Who's the assembly here?
Enough. Order. Sergeant Adams, you remove a member of the honorable notice of some talk plan in Harem order. Sit down. Honorable Member of Blopani Mogren. Now, Honorable Member of North Flight, supposed to keep on injecting. But me ask him, Sergeant, arouse him you too. So you let him that respect the Honorable Member of Blopani Mogren or talk.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Look also, you mean an upload reaching one blood decision in the Parliament. Actually, government argue opposition may argue one time you because no, you read motion law, decision law, committee law, private business committee law you. Now you work in decision. You put the motion on notice paper tomorrow, but you like going to court past time.
No, same time.
So me like giving some like tintin tasul in parliament na I'll be me all gata. Because you got this dispute your stop. Put law you go seeking interpretation of court. Otherwise, by me argue going up the night. I'm more too. By me argue going up the night. So me like also you go seeking interpretation, and maybe suppose you may accept the decision. Law committee, as it is, as per the standing orders, then opposition can go to court. So also me talk. Me like making my general talk on a balance. But you have already made that decision from the chair. So meeting also otherwise people argue going up to talk here. So you may make one decision, you may pass something. I think court may be best avenue where you may address this issue or dispute where you may come up in today. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Thank you, Honourable Member Blavani Mogrin. Decision Mr. talking about Pinisia. Decision below me, by me no entertain him, decision of the committee. Now me ask him that this law notice motion by golo notice tomorrow. But me at bagolo court. Law ask him court, law interpret him decision of committee na me, whether me play right or me play wrong. Na law display, me not finish yet. Let me finish and then if you have a point of order, you can raise a point of order, Honourable Prime Minister. Then after decision of court, me talk out of parliament now, because you play line of side, ibagara be me no true. To country no got respect for me. So me must go to court because time this like come up talk ya. And people blow me la manus, house line blow me, family blow me straight, marry na alpiginini, and balik sim same longan the power blow me no kat sawe blongan. Sit down no siya walk him also. So me must go to court. Na time me go to court na court walk him decision blongan. So was no favor me na dog you wrong. Me, by me tenerim resignation, by me as a speaker, me talk clearly about that. So that, me will try to make him that we do it right, as the Honourable Minister I'm talking. I want to do it right. I said the President that is right. It is not wrong. Because you may plan the lawyer. We all went to the same law school, but we interpret that law differently. Am I correct? Honourable Sina Yangamul? In the courtroom, we will defend our views on that particular law. But we went to the same law school. And that is what I'm saying. Based on my interpretation of the Supreme Court decision on technical point number 5, I thought the names was not correct. And that's why my committee made the decision. But since you said that we are wrong in that, I will go to the court to get interpretation of that particular technical aspect of this requirement. So based on that, decision, Mr. Nabolsem. Honourable Prime Minister.
Speaker, I respectfully appreciate the dilemma you are caught up in, Mr. Speaker, but the committee work, you are the chair of the committee, and so I'd like to propose move a dissent in your decision, Mr. Speaker. Members of the opposition, every transaction on the floor of Parliament is conducted by vote. You have an opportunity now to produce the number you say you have. And this is a test of number. You have an opportunity. We're moving a dissent to Mr. Speaker respectfully.
All right. Thank you. There is a mover of a motion. Seconder. All right. I have to be fair in this situation. You asked me to make a ruling. I've made a ruling. That I want this on the notice paper. There is a dissension from the government side. And there is a seconder to that. And based on Standing Order 96, based on Standing Order 96, objection to the ruling of Speaker. There is an objection to the ruling of the Speaker. Therefore, I'm entertaining the motion. What is your point of order? Honorable Sina Yangamol. One point of order, please.
My point of order is like this. I have to ask a question. I want to take you back. Where did this matter originate from? From a point of order or from the meeting of a PBA? PBC. If it came out of a PBA, then it's reached the end of the PBC, it's reached the end of the road. Now, this Rule 96 you're talking about only applies to matters coming out of a point of order. Look at the title. Look at Rule number 94, 95, 96. You look at that. Look at the context of the Rule 96. You look at the context of Rule 96. It's in between 94, 95, 96, and it's all about matters coming out of a point of order. Nothing to do with this motion, which comes from the Private Business Committee. So if you apply Rule 96, you've got it wrong.
This is the advice from the clerk who is advising me on that objection to the ruling of the Speaker, Standing Order 96 should be entertained. Okay. There is a question before Parliament now. And the question is, Honorable Member Yai Bupangya.
Mr. Speaker, point of order, point of order, but understanding Standing Order is very clear. Suppose one point of dissension come up, the ruling for Speaker, it must be in writing, and the track verified it. It must be in writing. They just wrote it. No, they just say no.
Okay. Honorable Member Yai Bupangya.
Preparing documents for the government. You work so good inside.
All right. Advice from clerk economy Lucia now. I mean, Dr. Semba, you mean taking vote. So, ruling blow me past them, me go want them you plan. You play sing out, me rouse him decision block committee, yeah? Now me talk, buy go notice paper. Now, dissent when come up, we got seconder, then you must vote long. Parliament, you want them. So you may vote. I've made the ruling, and there is a dissension to my ruling, and therefore I will entertain a vote.
The chair must be respected. You of all people should understand that. You must respect the chair.
All right, point of order, Honorable Sina Yangamul.
Yeah, Mr. Speaker, me like asking for decorum order inside the chamber of Parliament. You don't carry out administrative functions of the clerks in the chamber. If there is to be any written communication, it should be conducted outside You don't exchange letters in the chamber. That's an abuse of the parliamentary privileges. You don't carry out any administration inside the chamber.
People are very silent today.
If you want to write letter, put it through the system. It will be received out there, stamped for, registered, and then passed on to the relevant officer. You all know the system. You don't exchange love letters here.
Honorable Member of Sina Yangamul, me taking point of WPNs. Thank you. You sit down. Mix him can advise come long tupla kuskusia. Come to long walk long all kuskus parliament. And they are ready for anything anytime. So Lord, that's the situation. Long make him everybody hamamas na one bell. Me not suspending parliament for another 5 or 10 or whatever minutes. Lo all go and paper. No, immediately you may must attend long. Yes.
You are
Point of W, yes.
In order for us to accept the motion, Speaker, now to sorry, Prime Minister, the government must write a letter. Clerk, all write him letter. Now only yet must sign him na karim kam. Karim is a letter on the table here. Go on and give him all. Now sign him na karim kam back.
You don't want. Okay, advice from me again, and we talk it in order. So, but if not looking more same, me walking from me, yes. So this is now, I'm Sanabol Sam by me taking vote. All right. Usat only in favor of decision. Hey, sit down. Usat in favor of the motion of Sam Desala notice of V1C in organ sublo notice paper tomorrow against him decision block committee na against him decision block speaker Yusana. Usato li no agree. Lo dissension motion, lo put him, there's la notice lo BNC, lo notice paper tomorrow, please stand up. Honourable members, the result of the dissent motion, the ayes 69 and the no 0. Isla isoy miumiyat looking place kilia, also molayan no upside, only walk out, no vote, all no hamamas, no decision, no speaker, also no allow him dissent motion lo kam nali go. Decision block committee also me all talk out. I me reject him this la motion block B1C based lot technical point number 5 where name in order. So me explain him now people can hire him you me all kata hire ma that the Honorable Hewabi Maso I mean no correct name longan I'm Honorable Maso Hewabi on the read now we must also. So it's like also me, Honorable Job Pomat. Name lo me Job Pomat and name say name lo me. You belong to call me Honorable Pomat Job. Honorable James Marape. I'm name lo James. Prime Minister na Marape and Papa. It's not you mean to call him Honorable Marape Prime Minister. Now based on legally this plan understanding now this you meeting because it's an important motion. Constitutional requirement, me like him right. So my decision is that by tomorrow, Bami go court first thing. Now what is your point of order?
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. You mentioned him 6 names. You got asked one kind. You know, match one time motion. You know, establish law read for the benefit of public. Now, Parliament, can you make mention of all those 6 names? Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
This law name is Sabina like Pulim Plani Talk all media now lani welcome no kam no mina clerk na sim na look him read straight na can publish him out for the people of the country longa lo sabe na can scale him whether committee na me also chairman speaker he work him right plus something or no god but also now me will talk and tomorrow me must go to court lo ask him all the interpretation lo me lo this technical point number 5, yeah. No names must be correct, no signatures must be correct, yeah. Me na committee bla me right or me play wrong. And also pas me talk finish, suppose code rule talk no god, you play wrong. I'm only right or some only will talk. Then I will humbly tender my resignation and I'm saying it this time on the floor of Parliament. Our people are listening out there. Because I must tender my resignation because I believe I did not manage this properly. Fairly in the best interest of the country as others think. So tomorrow first thing, I will run to the court to get an interpretation of the court on that matter. Yes. What's your point of order, Honourable Minister?
Point of order, Blomi Mosem. Speaker, you talk by you go court. So court and by rely on evidence stop in said law, handset, no decision. So you must complete reading decision below you. Thank you, Mr. Speaker. A handset.
Yes. Send way. Honourable Member Sam, Dissension committee, I call him out, finish him, we can't finish. I disagree. But this is technical point number 5, the name, the Honourable Maso Hewabi, name law, paper ikam, notice law. We don't see him, Honourable Hewabi Maso. It's supposed to read Honourable Maso Hewabi. So based on that, look, his name is correct, the signature is correct, all this, the name, yeah, committee thing, no, all right, so I'm making decision also, no writing. Since all the other side, all argue, this, me entertain him thinking long, now me to put him on notice paper, so tomorrow, but there was a dissent, move on, and second day, you make him, so you may vote also. Now Parliament has the final say. The Parliament is members of Parliament voting. So it has voted, not yet entertain a motion. What's your point of order, Governor?
Please, as what the committee has decided is not only Maso Hewabi, call the names of the 6 members of Parliament who signed the motion and whose names were not in order for the country to know and for the record.
Okay, Honourable Governor, Mayumi, Honourable members, me announce him when I'm popular, I'll indicate him stop. Honourable Peter O'Neill, illustrate the name behind him read. Honourable Francisca Simoso, name is stop read, one kind. Honourable Hewabi Maso, Honourable Robert Naguri. I'm also popular. Before you may go, you may care up or you may adjourn. Me like Tokol Shem. This line one plan when a committee identify him today. So this is a matter where me must straight him go to court na court give him interpretation blow and tool of this plan. Because what is on the read is a legal document. What is on the read the names written on the writ are legal documents, and that must be followed. Now, me believe all this line, come up and wrong law members of parliament, but electoral commission, officers who said all pull map him this blah. Read here, only must make a mistake with this law. Because on that read, we talk, and in it long end, and we talk also, same name, he must come pass. So suppose Mimi, format job, you win him this election. Job format, but same name, blow me can pass and format. Na name, blow me straight job, he can be written on the read. That is how it must be done. Because the read is a legal document. Below elections, the time you return him come back. We have seen, he got plenty when I'm this law, when name also, me call him Pinis, like Honorable Peter O'Neill, and name belong and lo read, and in it lo say name, only put in Peter, na name belong and O'Neill come backside. Well, lo read it talk, O'Neill must come pass, na Peter must come behind. That is another where committee can find him now. So me plan need to bring him this like him. Now go to court too. Now court give me interpretation belong. Because all these matters are constitutional, and as the court ruled last time, no one the decision me walking him doc. The speaker has no right or when him interpreting laws. It is only the courts that can interpret the laws. So based on that, me repeat him again. I'm going to the court tomorrow. Lo ask him court lo interpret him all this flaw. Look. So we have to do it right. Because I don't like something else behind time, you may go na. You may set him president, now this law. And me wrong. My concern is I want us to do it right. The parliament must do it right. The parliament must be seen to be independent. In its discharging its responsibilities. Not influenced by government, no opposition. Now a lot of members will give point of order. I agree with some of the point of orders, all members. Like one of them, for me today, we've been sitting here for the last 2 or 3 weeks now, and you may all the severe one see. No one is working. No one is working. Our people out there are suffering. The government is not working. And to me, the Section 145 of the Constitution is the most destabilizing law in this country. Maybe it was put by our forefathers at the time, it was okay. But nowadays, no. Every 18 months, there must be a vote of no confidence. And those who had been there in the past, like the honorable member for Yalabu Pangia, is not here, had experienced this. Now, the Honorable James Marape is experiencing the same thing. And tomorrow, another person becomes the Prime Minister, will experience the same thing that every 18 months he counts down on the months from day one when he's elected. And we don't concentrate on delivering our policies to our people, saving our people, but we concentrate on managing numbers. So me talking Clark finish, and if I still remain a speaker based on the decision of the court, me talk by me blah holy man blah. Forum or seminar, workshop, something of parliament, ask him, oh, what the survey line will me come? Now put him questions. Equal along all that Section 145, now 63 block calling of government for me, government, are they consistent or not? Now you may look, we are approaching independence now, 50 years of independence. No good times have changed. We need to change the law. And one blah blah law, I miss have talking more time. Long election was speaker. Today they made a comment or appointment of the speaker that Speaker Mlopango party, now he would be biased on this. And they could be right. So you may look to speaker, should the speaker be a member of the party or parliament or like the Bougainvillean parliament or like Solomon Islands and all this? Should he be like the Governor General, you must elect him? So was he a member of parliament and you mark him and resign as member of parliament and be the Governor General also? These are the questions that I want to put forward. That is if tomorrow the court answers my question in the affirmative, then I will remain a speaker and I will pursue this. But if the court says that I'm wrong in my decision and my committee we were wrong, I will tender my resignation as a speaker or send me talk him now. You plan lo here lo floor usa di stabi harem na country to harem stop and display decision lobby. So one time display, it's now time we go down finish. So missing out in lead up government business.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, I move that Parliament at its rising adjourn until Tuesday, 3rd September 2024 at 2:00 p.m.
Before me entertain him this motion, me like asking him the question on the floor. Based on this issue now me argue, is it all right? Lo you me adjourn or you me larem nalko karim nupla fresh motion or whatever I come na you me dilongan or me go court person. Eh? Okay, you let of Parliament decide. So me behind him decision blah of Parliament decide. The question is that the motion be agreed to. Those in favor say aye. Aye. Those against say no. The ayes have it. All honourable members. Leader of government business.
Mr. Speaker, I move that Parliament do now adjourn until Tuesday, 3rd of September 2024 at 2 p.m. And Mr. Speaker, 3 days from the 3rd of September, for all Catholics in the country, the head of the Catholic Church, the Pope, will be in country on the 6th. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
All honourable members, Parliament now. The question is that the motion be agreed to. Those in favour say aye. Aye. Those against say no. The ayes have it. All honourable members, and decision of Parliament now. Me entertain him in a decision of Speaker and of Parliament, also in Parliament by agent, call number 3, day of moon, September, Tuesday, 2:00 afternoon.